World War II, the greatest upheaval of humanity and culture in history. The Nazis murdered millions of people and destroyed and looted cultural treasures from all over Europe. U.S. Lieutenant Commander James Rorimer.
Again and again, the Germans used church towers as observation posts, and snipers fired from them at our advancing troops.
The Allied forces were different. As the war drew to an end and they prepared to invade Europe, an order went out from General Dwight D. Eisenhower. All commanders were ordered to avoid the destruction of cultural and historical treasures whenever possible, even in the heat of battle. When the troops invaded, they were accompanied by the men and women of the Monuments, Fine Arts, and Archives program, the Monuments Men. Their mission was to protect historically and artistically significant monuments and buildings, and to find the items looted by the Nazis and return them to their rightful owners. It was the greatest treasure hunt in history. As battles were still raging, at the risk of their lives, they searched out vast storehouses of looted goods. The Nazis had even hidden masterpieces in mines.
At Merkers, Germany, this salt mine holds one of the strangest secrets of the war. A secret that was to deal Germany a crushing financial blow during the last days of the conflict. Here, GIs uncovered a fabulous hoard of jewelry, silver, currency, bullion, and art treasures. Much of it the accumulated loot of 5 years of war. Practically every museum in Europe is represented in these masterpieces, which include Raphael's, Rembrandt's, Van Dyck's, and many other great masters' works, buried now 1,200 feet below the ground in what the Nazis considered a safe hiding place and a bomb-proof shelter.
There was a collection that had been put into 2 salt mines in the city of Heilbronn, Germany, a city about 60 miles north of Stuttgart, head of Mercedes-Benz country. They sent 2 monuments men to work down in the mines, and I was the one. And fairly early in the game, when I got down there, one day with 2 miners, I always had some miners with me, I noted that there was where there was supposed to be a metal door, there was brick. And I said, what's behind there? They didn't know. And so I told them, break it down. And what we found is huge jars of what turned out to be nitroglycerin. And I think they were within about 2 months of boom. And of course, with that particular knowledge, the mine was emptied, and they took those cannons very carefully up to the top and into fields and exploded them over here. The first job that I had was to get all the 73 cases of stained glass windows that were taken out of the Cathedral of Strasbourg. I was the one who saw to it that all the boxes came to the top and got loaded onto trucks to be shipped to Strasbourg an hour and a half away.
The Nazis had looted not only fine art, but also religious items. As they murdered entire Jewish communities, they stole their Torah scrolls, ceremonial art objects, and libraries.
When American forces discovered enormous caches of looted cultural materials, they set about ensuring that these objects would be treated and protected with the greatest respect. Ultimately, thanks to these efforts, millions of objects and sacred texts were returned to their rightful heirs or held in trust by Jewish successor organizations. The leader of that effort, a U.S. Army captain named Seymour Pomerantz, was a hero whose actions embodied the professionalism and dedication of the uniform that he wore.
In his very first month as director of Offenbach, Seymour Pomerantz oversaw the restitution of 1 million books. He went on to serve 34 years in the Army, retiring in 1976 with the rank of colonel. He continued working well into his 90s as a consultant in records management for numerous Jewish organizations. As the American Jewish Historical Society celebrates its 120th birthday, it plans to create a significant collection of documents that tell the story of the efforts to recover art, books, and artifacts stolen from Jews during the Nazi era. The Seymour Pomerantz papers, generously donated by the Pomerantz family, provide the ideal foundation for this important project. For decades, the monuments men remained unsung heroes, even as many of them went on to become important figures in the art and museum world. But in recent years, they have finally begun to be recognized for their heroism.
What the Nazis have committed is the greatest blunder and destruction in the history of civilization. Saving art instead of taking it. That was the unique decision on the part of our government. First time in the history of civilization that we, instead of taking things, saw to it to give it back, which in retrospect was a great achievement on the part of our government. And quite frankly, over the years, it made me feel better. I did something to make a more peaceful life in this particular world.